Proteins are like the essential builders of life. They manage a lot of important activities in our cells and organs. Imagine them as tiny workers constructing and maintaining the structures in our bodies. These proteins are made up of smaller parts called amino acids, and the way these parts come together decides what each protein does.
Protein. Protein plays an important role in the human body, serving various functions that are essential for overall health and well-being, from building and repairing tissues to regulating metabolism and supporting the immune system. Protein is an essential nutrient that should be included in our daily diet.
Nutrition. Dietary protein. Proteins are essential components of a balanced diet, providing the necessary amino acids for the body to build and repair tissues. Biotechnology and medicine. Therapeutic proteins. Many therapeutic drugs and vaccines are developed using proteins. Example include insulin for diabetes, antibodies for cancer treatment, and vaccines for various diseases. Enzymes. Proteins are widely used as enzymes in industrial processes such as the introduction of biofuels, pharmaceuticals, and food processing. Gene therapy. Proteins are used in gene therapy to deliver genetic material into cells.
Protein structure studies. Understanding the structure and the function of protein is crucial for drugs discovery and the development of therapeutic intervention. Biomarkers. Proteins serve as biomarkers for various diseases, aiding in diagnosis and monitoring of condition. Food industry. Food additives. Protein are used as additives in food industry for their functional protein properties such as emulsification, foaming, and gelling. Example, including egg proteins and gelatin. Flavor, enhancement protein. Contribute to the flavor and texture of many food products.
Agriculture. Genetically modified crops. Proteins are engineered into crops to confer desirable traits, such as resistance to pests, diseases, or environmental stresses. Environmental applications. Bioremediation. Certain proteins, especially enzymes, are used in bioremediation processes to break down pollutants and contaminants. Wastewater treatment. Proteins play a role in biological wastewater treatment processes.
Diagnostic tools. Protein-based assays. Many diagnostic tests rely on detecting specific protein as indicators of disease. Examples include enzyme link, immunosorbent assays, also called ELISA, and Western blotting. Material science. Biomaterial protein are used in development of biomaterial for tissue engineering and regenerative medicines.
Biofuels. Enzymes, often proteins, are used in the production of biofuels from renewable sources. Okay. Collagen. Proteins like collagen are used in cosmetics and skincare products for the further moisturizing and anti-aging properties.
Building blocks. Protein building blocks are the fundamental components required for the construction of proteins. Amino acids, with their unique side chains, are joined together to peptide bonds to form polypeptide chains. The sequence of amino acids is determined by the genetic code carried by DNA. This sequence ultimately determines the structure and function of the protein. Protein plays diverse roles in maintaining the structure and function of cells. They are involved in a multitude of biological processes, allowing living organisms to carry out essential functions.
Parenthesis NH2COOH. The chemical formula represents an amino acid. The arch typically denotes the variable side chain or the amino acid. Although amino acid may have other formulas, these proteins invariably have the general formula. where C is carbon, H is hydrogen, and N is nitrogen, O is oxygen, and R is group, varying in composition and structure called a side chain.
First, the enzyme. The function of enzyme is the catalyst for biochemical reactions, accelerating the rate of reactions in living organisms. Next is the structural proteins. The function of structural proteins is to provide support and shape to cells and tissues. Next is the hormonal proteins. It regulates psychological processes and coordinates activities within an organism. Next is the transport proteins. It facilitates the movement of substances across cell membranes or throughout the bloodstream. Next is the storage proteins. It stores and releases important molecules such as nutrients or metal ions. Next is the antibodies. It defends the body against foreign invaders by recognizing and neutralizing pathogens.
Enable movement and contraction in cells and tissues. Receptor proteins receive signals and transmit information across cell membranes. Chaperone proteins assist in the proper folding of other proteins and prevent misfolding. Next is toxin proteins. Function is harmful proteins produced by some organisms to cause damage to others. Last one is glycoproteins. Function is play roles in cell adhesion, recognition, and signaling.
Examples of protein. Catalase. Catalase is a common enzyme found in nearly all living organisms exposed to oxygen, which catalyzes the decomposition of hydrogen peroxide to water and oxygen. Collagen. Collagen is the most abundant protein in your body. Insulin. Insulin is a hormone that lowers the level of glucose, a type of sugar in the blood. Hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is the protein contained in red blood cells that is responsible for delivery of oxygen to the tissue. Ferritin. Ferritin is a protein that stores iron. Immunoglobulin. Immunoglobulins, also known as antibodies, are glycoprotein molecules produced by plasma cells, white blood cells.
And mucins are two protein molecules in muscles and are mainly involved in muscle contraction in humans and animals. Insulin receptor. Insulin receptor is a member of the ligand-activated receptor and tyrosine kinase family of transmembrane signaling proteins that collectively are fundamentally important regulators of cell differentiation, growth, and metabolism. Heat shock proteins. The heat shock proteins are ubiquitous and conserve protein families in both prokaryotic and eukaryotic organisms, and they maintain cellular proteostasis and protect cells from stresses. Botulinum toxin. Botulinum toxin, one of the most poisonous biological substances known, is a neurotoxin produced by the bacterium Clostridium botulinum. C. botulinum elaborates 8 antigenically distinguishable exotoxins. Mucin. Mucin are heavily glycosylated linear glycoproteins that are secreted by higher organisms and protect and lubricate epithelial cell surfaces. Sodium-potassium pump. The sodium-potassium pump is an enzyme found in the membrane of all animal cells. It performs several functions in cell sociology.